Hey, what's up, guys? We are back with another episode. Tell me, does Kaizer Chiefs have a plan? And Danny, please pay the money. Let's go.
That's how it goes?
They keep asking about the best when they know it's me.
Okay.
Asking about the rest when they know it's me.
Straight in, I guess.
You know it's me.
A lot of stories took place this past week. Steve Gompela joining Swallows, Memela joining Chipa, Mendieta being announced by Mamelodi Sundowns, and of course, Kaizer Chiefs announcing the 6 signings. But let's go to Naturena, ne? They made the news, they broke the headlines, announcing Molefi Ntseki as the new head coach for the season. I was shocked. I really was. I had my reaction on social media. You guys watched it. And I thought about it over this past weekend. I thought, Molefi Ntseki's coming in. I'm sort of asking myself, was Molefi Ntseki plan A? I don't think so. I don't think he was plan A. And that led me to thinking also that the hierarchy doesn't have a plan. I don't think Chiefs have a plan, honestly speaking. I think what happened was Coach Nabi was speaking to Kaizer Chiefs. That didn't work out. I don't know why it didn't work out. Maybe it's because payment structures. Maybe the family didn't like him. We don't know necessarily. But if that doesn't work out, why do they not continue the season without the Zwane then? Why don't they proceed? And I know why you guys don't proceed without the Zwane. It's because you guys don't trust him. It's as simple as that. You guys do not trust him. You make it seem like it's the fans who wanted him out, but you guys could not proceed with him. You guys made big noises. Big noises when Natos when it was announced. The sirens, the police, cars. You remember that, guys? 12 months ago, speaking about whenever they're on radio, the management, but we don't play helicopter football anymore. That helicopter football is the closest you guys have ever come to winning something significant. You could have won the CAF Champions League with that football, and you could have won the league with that football. But all that noise, and you don't proceed with Atozwane. Now, my biggest worry is, what if Molefi Ntseki doesn't work out? What's the next step? Dylan Shepherd? Come on. When did Kaizer Chiefs suddenly become a club where we're just trying out things? We're just trying to just see if this works or that works. This is not how a big club operates. And don't get me wrong, this may be your football club, but maybe you're not fit enough to run this football club. Another guest on Playing the Field with Shakes, an absolute privilege to speak to this woman, spoke about Banyana Banyana, the coming World Cup, and as well as how the training camp is going. Another episode of Playing the Field with Shakes, we have a big guest, somebody that I highly respect, someone that I actually thought I'd never be speaking to. That's how much I respect her. So, biokineticist and football conditioning coach, Simone Conley, welcome to Playing the Field with Shakes.
Thank you, Shakes. It's an honor for me to be on Playing the Field. I've obviously been following you on Twitter for a long time, and I've seen the growth. And congratulations on the growth. And yeah, I don't think I'm big or anything, but thank you for having me.
No, some of us, we kind of the first time we sort of saw you was Highlands Park. I would probably say that's the first time I did. I think I know that you were also involved with the youth structures of Bafana as well. But I just looked at the way Highlands Park played back then and just how they were just always able to run. I just remember Peter Shaulida as well. Sundowns, same thing, their success. Now Banyana Banyana is going to the World Cup, being African champions. I have to ask you, Simone, are you proud of your achievements and what you've done so far?
Yeah, I am quite proud of my achievements. I feel like I've got a lot more to do. I've got a lot more to give. I can still impact the industry in a positive way, especially now from transitioning from the male football, to female football. I feel like I'm in a space now where there's a lot that I can do. There's an impact I can make, and there's a lot I can give to the female game, which is great. I love the fact that I've been in the male side of things. I've applied the trade there, and I'm transitioning to the female game. But yes, I think my career started with me volunteering for 3 years, Stars of Africa Football Academies, where I started volunteering, and I would drive players like Luther Singh around. I would drive Puli Marisani around. And yeah, it was when I look back at it, those 3 years of volunteering has paid off, and then I went on to also volunteer a little bit at SAFA schools for about a year. And then Coach Kabo Zondo took me into the Nedbank Yona Team Search project, which opened many doors for me, after meeting Coach Shakes and Coach Owen. And Yeah. So when I look back to how I started and I look at what I've done now, I can honestly say I am proud of myself, but I've got a lot more to give to the industry.
I tell you, Simone, I think that story, I listened to you and I'm like, I think I know from that time in Hollands Park until now. And I'm like, I don't even think I know everything as yet. So I'm hoping that you write a book one day. Like one day when you put it all down, please write a book. Wanted to also find out from you your role as a biokineticist and as well as also football conditioning as well. Sundowns, Banyana Banyana, are you able to just define in terms of what you do for both teams?
Well, yes. So my profession, what I studied at university was to be a biokineticist. I studied my undergrad actually in sports management, and I did my honors in biokinetics and sports science. So, they sort of intertwine if you do manage to get into biokinetics. And then I went on and I did my master's in biokinetics, specializing in football, and that's really how I got my foot in the door. So 8 years of studying and then applying the trade at football teams. Basically, just it depends on what the football team wants. Do they want me to wear that cap with the dual role, or do they want a sole role from me? So I get guided by the coach that brings me in. I get guided by the team that brings me in. And then, I apply my trade according to how the coach wants things done to assist the coach. That's football. You've got to adapt to what your coach wants, what your head coach wants. You are there to support the coach in every possible way. So at Highlands Park, I wore both caps, bio and conditioning coach. At Sundowns, I wore both caps. And currently now at Banyana Banyana, Coach Des brought me in as a biokineticist because she needs better injury management, injury rehabilitation, So I'm currently rehabilitating some girls, and I think that that's the missing link that she had in her structure. And that's what I'm doing right here, right now.
Okay. Now it all makes sense why Sundowns players hardly get injured. Thank you for that. So tell me something. We're not far from the World Cup coming around. What has the training camp been like at this current moment?
Yeah, it's been good. It's been good. I mean, I think that we started out well. One of the challenges is that the international players came in a little bit late because their leagues are slightly different compared to Hollywood's big leagues. We did also have, a bigger group of players to start off with. And then obviously the technical team, the coaching staff, the head coach had to, choose the 23 players plus 3 extra, making it 26. And now that the squad is a bit smaller, they can be a little bit more focused. But also there's been quite a bit of media engagement and interaction, which is great for the team. That's what the team needs. That's what women's football really needs. So we're very thankful for that. But, it does take a little bit of focus away from football. So we need to tighten up and get back onto the field with football being our sole focus. I think we'll get there once we jet off to New Zealand.
I see. Well, at least things are going well. We began the campaign with Sweden. And now, obviously, women's football has grown so much that you almost can find information where you can. So even me, because I'm concerned about who we're playing, Sweden's coming around, they're a very good side as well. But one thing that I picked up that was very obvious is they are far bigger than our ladies in terms of size. So from a conditioning point of view, how do you condition our women to go up against, I guess, bigger opponents, especially? How do you handle that?
Well, that's a difficult one, When you plan to play in a tournament like the World Cup, you don't only consider just one team. You look at all 3 teams that you're going to play in your group stages. You start being positive and you start predicting that we get out of the group stage. Who are we most likely to meet, So your training needs to consider everybody that you might find yourself coming up against, So in that case, why not focus on your strengths? There's no way we can turn our girls into being any taller, any more masculine in a short space of time, So we've got to focus on our strength, and that is our speed, that is our skill, that is our ability to be agile and turn and quick and quick off the mark, So I think that it's important that in a situation like that, we just focus on what we are good at. We profile ourselves and we build on our profile. It's only a few weeks leading up to the World Cup, and nobody's going to get taller overnight. Yes, we can maintain muscle mass and we can maintain strength and all, but we cannot turn our girls into their physical profile. So we've just got to focus on what we're good at and build on that.
Yeah, no, I mean, it seems like they're really prepared, and that's what I like most. One thing the WAFCON also showed me with regards to our women as well is they're dangerous in a lot of ways. You know, we've got the Haiklana speed, we've got Refilio Jana who can maintain the ball, we've got the skill of Jermaine as well. I mean, to Simone, what would you say is our most dangerous weapon going into the World Cup?
Look, I think that we definitely have players that will bring individual brilliance to the table, you know. But then at the same time, I think we've got players that are quite disciplined in terms of their positional discipline, the structure, their ability to work together. And I think one of the biggest things is desire. You know, you can have 11 versus 11 on the field, but whoever has a bigger sense of desire can really, really put themselves to the task at 100%, 150% and go full force and actually come out with a positive result. So I think that we're going to the World Cup and our girls have desire. Our girls have desire to show South Africa what they can do, to show the world what they can do. You know, so I think that sometimes, you know, the skill is one thing, the physical attributes is another thing, but that internal and mental attributes can separate this 11 versus that 11 on the day. So I think that's going to give us the edge, you know?
No, 100%. I actually am so happy that the ladies are getting their due, they're getting their respect. They've already gone to a World Cup. This time around, they're coming in as African champions, you know? And inside the camp, is there an expectation? Do you have an expectation of how Banyana Banyana should do at the World Cup?
Well, I don't think we have an expectation per se, but we do have goals. We do have ambitions. We do have desire, like I mentioned, you know. We would like to have that first hurdle to say, get a good result against Sweden, right? And once we're able to do that, focus on the next step, which is to get a good result against Argentina and Italy and to get out of the group stages, you know. So step by step, the desire, the goal, the ambition is to just get out of the group stages. Once we're out of the group stages, that desire, that goal, that ambition will then go to the next level, you know, and that is to obviously get out of top 16 and so on and so forth. So look, expectation is one thing, but expectation obviously puts a lot of stress, pressure, you know, those things that we don't need right now. But having desire, having goals, having ambition, I think that's the most important. And that's how the country needs to also feel. They should desire for us to get out of the group stage. They should have that goal for us to get out of the group stage. Not the expectation, but they should jump on board with us to say, you know what, together as a nation, our goal and our desire and our ambition is to get out of the group stage and support the girls in that way.
No, 100%. And for me, the ladies, I support them. I'm really so happy for them that they're reaping the benefits, you know, because it's been such a very long time within their journey. People think Banyana Banyana started about yesterday or something, but just how they've been able to grow it. Now we have a women's league as well that's happening. They're starting to get the attention. I love it. I love it so much. When you think of women's football and where it's been, you know, and the role that you've played being in it already, in 10 years' time, I mean, I'm sure we'll have a league that will be rich with players, that's for sure. I'm sure Banyana Banyana will be going to such tournaments regularly. What do you see in 10 years' time with regards to women's football?
Well, honestly, I think that women's football, the world is our oyster right now. I think that there's a lot of support. I think FIFA's coming to the party. I think CAF is coming to the party. And what we need is for our PSL, you know, to come to the party within South Africa. SAFA has done a lot for women's football, but where it comes from and where it's going is obviously up to, I think, also our fans, the public, the football-loving people in South Africa, especially in our country. We've got to love women's football the same way we love and appreciate the men's game. For me, I've been in both now, you know, so I can actually make a direct comparison. And what we are lacking right now is those our 12 men. We are lacking that in women's football. And I see within 10 years' time, if we can basically push and force to bring that 12 man into the stadiums, that bigger support, bigger media coverage, bigger exposure, I think that our women's football, especially in South Africa, will grow. But overall, worldwide, I think women's football is setting new trends. I think women's football's really got a lot of attention, and there's big things coming. There's there's just South Africa needing to jump on that bandwagon in terms of more support for our women's league. In terms of professionalizing it. It should basically, the blueprint is there. What happens in the men's game should happen in the women's game. It's very simple. Women should earn equally. So fans should support equally. I mean, all we're asking for is growth. And that's what we see. But we do need faster growth if we are going to have a total different game within 10 years' time.
Now, 100%. And I wish the ladies all the best. It's going to be a big tournament. I think given the international experience of the ladies coming in, that's going to be a big help as well. They're the African champions. I'm really proud of them. Simone, thank you for being a guest on Playing the Field with Chicks. I also do want to say this as well. Nobody knows your journey in full, right? And I think a lot of us that come into the industry expect success in a week, in a year. And people don't know that you studied for 8 years, for example. If you could tell someone, study for 8 years, do this for 10 years or something, and then you get here, they'd be surprised. I really wish that one day you tell that story, whether it's in video form or a book. Please tell that story.
Thank you, Shakes. Thanks for having me. And one day I'll definitely tell my story. I'm just honored, and it's been a great experience chatting with you. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Take care. It's time for our weekly bet of the week. The purpose of this segment is to show you my bet slip in hopes that it helps yours light and green. The more accurate, the more cash you get. Let's get into it. Loads of international football taking place, under 21s, under 20s, and as well as the Gold Cup. Let's go to the games. Iceland going up against Spain. I've gone with a Spain win and over 1.5. Morocco going up against Mali. I've gone with over 1.5. Canada against Cuba. I've gone with Canada win and over 1.5. Costa Rica against Martinique. Costa Rica win and over 1.5. And the final game, Israel taking on England. I've gone with an England straight win. The odds you ask, it's 6.81. Amazing. And the maximum amount that I could win, 2,600 rands. If you want to win with me, click on the link below. That is Bet of the Week, sponsored by Betway. Remember to practice responsible betting at betway.co.za. Until the next one, all the best. We've come to the end of the show. 2 things though. Number 1, Danny, please pay them the money. I'm begging you. And number 2,
Happy birthday!
Yeah.
Happy birthday!
Yeah. Thank you guys for your support. I really do appreciate it. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're notified for future episodes.